So these questions are pretty quick. There's not too much solving that goes on. You may notice that it is front and back. But the questions are quick. And it serves as a really good review for the test. A lot of these questions are in the test bank of questions. So the more you see, the better off you will be. So I will do probably about 2 questions at a time, and then I'll read your assumptions just to keep us interested. Number 1. Which best describes the type of triangle? So here it's based on the angles of the triangle. I noticed that there is one obtuse angle, so therefore it's an obtuse triangle. That's good. Then number 2, what is the value of x if ABC is an equilateral triangle? If it's equilateral, then all the sides are the same length. You can choose 2 of the expressions, set them equal, and then solve for x. It doesn't matter which 2 you choose. Honestly, I don't really want to work with decimals, so I'll choose the 2 without decimals and just set them equal. And then solve for x. And I get x equals 2. Okay, ready for the first assumption? Let's see what we got. Diego, she's like 20 years old. I wish. I'm older than that.
That was my first impression.
By at least
you were like,
I know. That's good that I look young and I feel young. I'm at least a decade older than that, unfortunately.
30?
At least. Okay. So number 3. What is measure of angle 2? Right here, so we're trying to find this one. In order to find that one, we have to get measure of angle 1. So vertical angles here are congruent, so measure of angle 1 must be 60 degrees. And now we can figure out measure of angle 2 because these 3 angles would add up to 180. So 180 minus 70 minus 60 would give us 50 degrees. So measure of angle 2 is 50 degrees. Then it asks, what is measure of angle 4 over here? 4 is an exterior angle. We learned that the exterior angle, you can add these 2 numbers to get that number. So you could do 60 plus 40 to get 100 degrees. The other way to do it is you could figure out angle 3, which would be 80 degrees. And then that would have to be a linear pair with the number with angle 4. So 180 minus 80 would also give you 100 degrees. So that's C. Next one. Ava says, you like Halloween. Yes, I do. Especially with kids. It's a lot of fun. Let's dress them up. One of my kids is being a SWAT cop. Is that how you say it? Like part of the SWAT team? Yeah. Without weapons. And the other one's being a vampire. And luckily they're still doing trunk or treat in my neighborhood. I don't know about yours, but they're doing something.
Mine doesn't do that.
Oh, they don't?
But hopefully they're still doing trick or treat with safe distance.
Yeah. 5, what are the congruent triangles in the diagram? Okay, we can see the 2 congruent triangles. When you name them, you have to make sure you're naming it in the same order. So I would go through the answer choices and see which ones work. This is saying triangle ABC. There is no triangle ABC, so cross that one out. This here, AEB and CBD, it goes in the wrong order. This went like the medium to the long, and this went short to the long. Wrong order, so not that one. Next one, ABE, so this way, and then CBD. That's the correct order. It's doing short and then the medium side, short and then medium. So this is probably our answer. And the next one, ABE, and then CDB, wrong order here. Number 6, it gives us the explanation, but what's nice is they also write it on the triangles. It says, what is the value of x? So here's x right here in this expression. These 3 angles add to 180. this 45 degrees is the same as this angle here. So now I have 3 things I would add to 180, and I can solve for x. So 50 degrees plus 45 plus 16x plus 5 equals 180, and we can do it this way. The other way to do it is just to figure out what that angle is, and then put that equal to that measure. Yeah, x equals 5. Time for the next one. Gabe says she has a dog. That assumption is false. I don't have a dog. I like dogs, but I also like to travel. So we don't have a dog. And wishes for a different job.
Dog when you travel.
No, I like my job. That's a cool job.
Really?
Yeah. You get all the holidays off. You get your entire summer off. Like, you work from 7 to 3. If that, like, it's a cool job.
Would you rather work for an elementary school or high school?
High school, elementary school. Oh gosh, no. Yeah.
How about middle school? You get to start later?
Yeah, but you didn't get out till later either. So, no, I've taught elementary, middle. I like high school the best.
Really, elementary? The elementary would be like really easy, like 2 plus 2.
No, but the behavior is tough because you have to be like, oh gosh, the behavior is tough. Okay. A triangular shaped roof of a house has congruent legs. What is the measure of each of the 2 base angles? There's actually a picture up here. It says it has 2 congruent legs, so it's an isosceles triangle. With an isosceles triangle, the angles opposite those congruent legs are congruent. So to find these angles, we would do 180 minus 80 to get 100, and then 100 divided by 2 to get each angle. So it would be 50 each. So this would be 50 degrees, and this is 50 degrees. Next. Now we're going to look at some proofs. These are the exact proofs that you may see on the test. I didn't try to trick you or anything. Gabriel?
Which question is that on?
I probably deleted it. Yep. So here it says L is the midpoint of JM, so that means this must be equal to this. And JK is parallel to NM. Okay. Then they start walking you through it. They give you the given. They say JL is congruent to LM because of definition of midpoint, which we already noted. JK is parallel to NM. Then they say that JKL, so this angle here, is congruent to MNL. And that's because they're alternate interior angles. So we got that now. Now it's saying JLK, so this angle is congruent to MLN, this angle. They didn't give us a reason. Those are vertical angles, and vertical angles are congruent, so vertical angle theorem. Then 6, it says that these 2 triangles are congruent. Looking at these 2 triangles, we have angle, angle, side, angle, angle, side. So they are congruent because of angle, angle, side. You wouldn't be able to see that unless you marked it up like I did. On a computer screen, you're not going to be able to draw on it, so you might want to just jot it down on a piece of paper and mark it up.
Not all.
Yes,
some
thank you,
computers-
Caitlin, for raising your hand.
On the test, is it going to be like where you draw the thing in, or do we have to know?
So I wrote it in here, but 9 and 10 are the actual questions. So 9 says, what is the reason for angle JLK congruent to MLN? Vertical angles. That's how it'll be structured. And 10, what is the reason for triangle JKL congruent to MNL? We said angle, angle, side, so just choose that answer. Next assumption. You have been married for 7 years. I don't know how many years it's been. Like 8, maybe. So that's actually pretty accurate. 7 or 8 years.
Oh, someone got accurate.
Now somebody's doing some math there. Okay. We'll save that for off the recording. Okay. If,
Wait a minute.
what?
Why is that so close?
What do you mean?
20.
Yes.
I don't know.
I just guessed it was
I'm trying to think. 2013. Yeah, it's about 7 years. I don't know. Okay. If triangle LMN is isosceles, so that means this is equal to this, and T is the midpoint of LN, so that means this is equal to this, which postulate can be used to prove that these two triangles are congruent? Well, angle doesn't prove triangles congruent, so cross that one out. ABC, I don't know what that's doing there, cross it out. I would say side, side, side because of the reflexive property, but that's not an option, so we have to look at other ways to prove it.
Side.
So with an isosceles triangle, the angles opposite those two congruent sides are congruent. So therefore, we have side, angle, side, side, angle, side. 12. If triangle MLT is congruent to MNT, what is used to prove angle 1 is congruent to angle 2? Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Once you know the triangles are congruent, you can prove angles or sides are congruent. And next assumption. Paxton, you don't like when I sleep. That's accurate. You don't sleep as much as you know who, though.
Corey.
Brooklyn said, you're a big cat person. Not a big cat person, but I do like cats. I grew up with a cat. She died. Oh, wow.
Grew up with one.
Okay. What are the missing coordinates of this triangle right here? So we're trying to find the coordinates of n. It shows it's an isosceles triangle, meaning that this is the halfway point in terms of the x. So double A would be 2A, and then it's on the x-axis, so it'd just be 0. 2A, 0. And let's move over to the back. I think this is multiple choice, actually. We've got to circle that answer. 15. What is the length of the sides of this equilateral triangle? It's equilateral. All of them are equal. So to find x, first of all, we need to set two expressions equal to solve for x. And that's what I'm doing here.
I already got it. It's 3.
Correct, but that's not the correct answer, though. Don't get tricked. I've gotten tricked already today. So I got x equals 3, and I was like, yes, I got it, and I circled D, but that's not the final answer. What is the length of the sides? So now that we have x equals 3, we have to plug that into the expression to find the length of one of the sides. And they're all the same, so once you have 1, 9 plus 6, which is 15. So your actual answer is 15.
Dang.
Caitlin says she likes to travel to different places. That is accurate. I want to do more international travel, but, you know, the COVID.
Thanks, COVID.
Yeah, thanks, COVID.
Wait, how'd you get 15 for the last one?
Once you got x equals 3, you plug that into one of the expressions and you'll get 15.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't matter which one you plug it into. Okay, for number 16, how would triangle ABC with vertices blah, 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 blah be classified based on the length of its sides? So I'm going to graph it. 4, 1 is A, 2, negative 1. C, negative 2, negative 1. Here we go. Here's our triangle. We have to classify it based on the sides. I notice that all 3 sides are different lengths, so it must be scalene.
Just like Pocono Raceway.
Number 17 says, what is the measure of angle 1? So we're trying to find this angle here. This is 90 degrees because of that little square. This is 50. So 180 minus 90 is 90. 90 minus 50 would be 40 degrees. Measure of angle 3, this exterior angle here. We learned that this exterior angle is equal to the sum of this angle and this one. So we could do 70 plus 40 to get 110. If that didn't like jump out at you, the other way to do it is find measure of angle 2. And then you could do 180 minus 50 minus measure of angle 2, which comes out to, I don't know, 70 plus 90 is 160, so it would be 20 degrees. Minus 20, and then you would get the 110. That way. Next assumption. Simon looks like he wrote a good one, but I don't know. I'll save it. Okay, Logan said nice and cool. I think so. I hope so, right? Lily said you like to travel. Accurate. And 19. This one's actually easy. It says if triangle DJL is congruent to triangle EGS, which segment is in EGS corresponds to DL? Well, DL is the first and last letter there, so therefore it would correspond to the first and last letter here, so segment ES. Number 20, again, which triangles are congruent? So I'm going to use a pencil again. KLJ and MNL. They went in a different order, so that can't be it. Then JKL and LMN. Nope, different order. Can't be it there. JLK and NLM. Nope, wrong order. They did the short side and then the long side. Here they did the long side, then the short side. So that's not it either. Let's try the last one. This better work. JKL and MNL. That was the same order. They did the 3 side and then the 1. So that's accurate. And time for another assumption. Let's see. I assume you're athletic. I am. I ran 8 miles this weekend. Is that athletic? I don't know.
Hopefully 4 miles each day.
Actually, I did break it up. I did 3 on Friday, 5 on Sunday. So,
You mean
I don't know.
Saturday?
I gotta work on my endurance to keep up with you guys. What's that?
You mean on Saturday?
Sunday morning, 7 a.m.
No, I mean over the weekend you did it. You only got 2 days.
I did Friday and Sunday.
Oh, one of them after.
Oh, Friday night. Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you for clarifying.
Sorry. Wow. Good catching me, Logan. Okay, 21. Quadrilateral MNQP is made of 2 congruent triangles. NP bisects angle N and angle P. In quadrilateral, measure of angle N is 50 degrees. And measure of angle P is 100 degrees. What is the measure of angle M? Well, since this bisects it, then this would be 25 degrees over here and 25 over here. Half and half. And then this would be 50 and 50. Then to find the measure of angle M, you could do 180 minus 25 minus 50, and you'll get 105 degrees. Next, 22. 22, that was that lesson we skipped, just cross it out. 23, this one's kind of tricky, so pay attention. 23, if triangle ABC is isosceles, so this would be congruent to this, with vertex angle B, and AE congruent to FC. So AE is congruent to FC. Which theorem or postulate can be used to prove that angle or triangle AEB, so this little triangle right here, is congruent to triangle CFB? Right now we only have 2 sides congruent, but because it's isosceles, we also know that the opposite angles are congruent. So this angle must be equal to this angle, and then that gives us side angle side right here. And then a proof. It says that DA, this line, is parallel to YN, okay, and segment DA is congruent to YN. Here it wrote the given out. It says that alternate interior angles are congruent, so ADN, this angle is congruent to YND. So now I have side angle. It stated the given again, and it said dn is equal to itself because of reflexive property. Now I have side angle side. So these are congruent because of side angle side, side angle side. And then once you have congruent triangles, you can prove any parts are congruent. So these angles are congruent because corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. And no, you won't have to like type that in or anything. It'll be more multiple choice. So 24, what is the reason for statement 5? Side angle side. What is the reason for statement 6? Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. And next assumption. Goes places a lot with family. Yes, with my husband and 2 kids, we go a lot of places. Try to. That's actually part of the reason why we became teachers, is so we have time to travel. And Logan said, I assume Miss Silva likes to travel. Y'all.
Where's Logan?
And Danielle, you like to travel. I don't know if did I say yours already, Danielle? I don't know. Yep, I do like to travel. 26. Classify this based on the points. Okay, so I'm graphing this again quickly. 3, 3. Point A, B is at 6, -2, 1, 2, 3. B and 0, -2 is C. Okay, here's the triangle. It honestly looks like it could be an equilateral. But when I go and count the sides or figure out the lengths of the sides, so I counted this one because it's on a straight line, that's 6 units. This is on a diagonal, so you can't just count the units. I'm going to use Pythagorean theorem to figure out that exact length. So 3 squared plus 5 squared equals c squared, 9 plus 25. So square root of 34. This is square root of 34 is the length. And then this over here, you have to do the same thing. I wish there was a shortcut. There just isn't. We get square root of 34 again over here. So 2 of the sides are the same length, and then one's different, so it is isosceles. But notice how it did look like an equilateral. It wasn't until we actually solved it that we found out it was isosceles. So isosceles. Last one. Here, let's get some of the last assumptions. James said, a teacher. Yes, I am a teacher. And Simon said, I thought you were teacher at first, but you are like one of my favorite teachers. Oh, thank you. Do I come off mean? I kind of have to come up strict. Especially like as a young female, people don't take you seriously unless you're like, you know what? What's that?
Unless you do phones.
Yeah, unless you're like kind of like mean at the beginning. Which next week, I don't know if I'm getting new students or how many new students, so I might have to go back to but just know it's only temporary. Okay. What's that, Paxton?
Can we switch seats?
I don't know what my class sizes are going to be like. I'm not sure at this point. If I get like a whole lot of students, maybe. I'm not sure. Last one, 27.
I like it back there.
What are the missing coordinates of the triangle? So right here, if this is 2b units this way, then this would be at -2b, 0. Okay. And that's it.
Are you-